Here's the truth. Every month, one single word costs 95% of creatives over $10,000 by year's end. It's the word that makes you instantly accept a lower rate, delay asking for what you're worth, and lets clients chip away at your confidence. That money is just left on the table. This mistake has to stop. Together, I'll show you the hidden enemy in your vocabulary and exactly what to say instead. Before we dive in, I want to be crystal clear. I'm a financial educator, not a licensed financial advisor. The ideas we talk about here are for educational purposes, to help you build awareness and ask better questions. This isn't personalized financial advice, so please always consult with a qualified professional for your unique situation. Okay, let's get into it. The root of this issue isn't a lack of talent or a failure of ambition. It's a deep internal conflict that most of us creatives carry around. We've been subtly taught that there's a sacred wall separating our art from commerce. Art is pure, it's about expression, it's a piece of our soul. Commerce, on the other hand, feels transactional, it's about numbers, it's cold. So when a potential client asks, "What's your rate?" it doesn't just feel like a business question. It feels like they're asking us to put a price tag on a piece of our identity. And that feels uncomfortable, even a little bit shameful. This mindset forces us into a defensive crouch. We start thinking, "I'm just lucky they want to pay me for this at all." We feel like an imposter in a business conversation because we identify as a creator, not an entrepreneur. We believe that caring about the money somehow taints the purity of the craft. And so we begin to operate from a place of gratitude instead of a place of value. We're grateful for the opportunity, so we don't want to seem difficult by negotiating. We're grateful for the project, so we accept scope creep without adjusting the price. We're so focused on protecting the year, art, that we completely neglect them, business, that allows the art to sustain itself. But what if this entire conflict, this wall we've built between our passion and our paycheck, is based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how human value has been created and exchanged for thousands of years? That misunderstanding comes down to one of the oldest, most foundational principles of human progress, the principle of value exchange. This isn't a modern business school concept. It's the simple, timeless idea that when one person provides something of value to another, they receive something of value in return. It's the reason a farmer trades grain with a blacksmith, or a musician plays for an audience that offers their applause and support. It is a fundamental act of mutual respect and recognition. The problem is, we as creatives have been conditioned to see only one side of this exchange. We see the value we are giving, our time, our unique vision, our years of honed skill, the piece of ourselves we pour into the work. But when it comes time to receive times value in return, we freeze. That internal conflict kicks in, telling us that asking for fair compensation is greedy, or that it somehow diminishes the purity of our contribution. But I want you to reframe this in your mind, right now. Value exchange is not a transaction that cheapens your art, it is the mechanism that honors it. When a client pays you fairly, they are not just buying a file or a deliverable. They are formally acknowledging the value of your solution to their problem. Your photography will help them sell more products. Your design will give their brand a voice. Your writing will connect them with their audience. That is tangible, powerful business value. Your compensation is simply the other half of that equation. It's the client's way of saying, "The value you are creating for me is real, and I respect it." A sustainable creative career is built on a foundation of symmetrical, respectful value exchange. Without it, you're not running a business, you're participating in a very demanding hobby that leads to burnout. The money you earn isn't a necessary evil. It is the resource that allows you to buy better tools, to afford the time to rest and recharge your creative spirit, and to have the peace of mind to do your best work. It is the fuel for your creative engine. To make this principle tangible, let's use an analogy from a world we all understand intimately as creators. Think of it like editing a photograph. The moment you press the shutter is pure creation. It's instinct, vision, and timing all coming together. You've captured something raw, something full of potential. But is that the finished product you deliver to a client? Of course not. You bring that raw file into your editing suite. You meticulously adjust the exposure, you balance the colors, you crop the frame to strengthen the composition. You aren't betraying the original moment. You are honoring it. You're making deliberate, technical choices to ensure the final image communicates its maximum impact and value. This editing process is an accepted, respected, and non-negotiable part of the craft. Now apply that same logic to your business. Your creative work, the design, the manuscript, the strategy, is that raw, captured image. The negotiation is your editing process. Setting your rate is like adjusting the brightness. Defining the scope is like cropping the frame. These aren't uncomfortable business tasks that corrupt your art. They are the essential professional steps you take to honor your work, ensuring its value is clearly seen, understood, and respected. It's the final stage of the creative process, transforming raw talent into a sustainable professional outcome. If we all agree that carefully editing an image is what elevates a snapshot to a professional photograph, why have we been conditioned to feel so much resistance when it's time to apply that same deliberate, value-defining process to our own livelihood? That resistance stems from a deep internal misalignment of your professional identity. For too long, we've told ourselves a story that we are artists who are forced to do business. This framing automatically puts your art and your livelihood in conflict. The mindset shift required is to stop seeing yourself as an artist who reluctantly engages in commerce and start embodying the identity of a creative professional. A creative professional understands that business isn't a dirty word or a separate, ugly task that comes after the real work is done. They know that business is simply the professional framework that protects, sustains, and gives structure to their creative output. When you operate as an artist waiting for a project, you're hoping for patronage. You feel grateful. When you operate as a creative professional, you are acting as a strategic partner. You are an expert, collaborating with a client to solve a tangible problem, and your creativity is the powerful tool you use to deliver a valuable solution. This shift changes the entire dynamic. Negotiation is no longer a deeply personal and uncomfortable confrontation over your self-worth. It becomes a standard, professional conversation about the project's scope, deliverables, and the mutual value being created. You aren't asking for a favor. You are calmly and confidently defining the terms of a successful partnership. So the foundational work isn't about memorizing a clever negotiation tactic. It's about fundamentally changing how you show up to the conversation by shifting your identity. Once you truly embody this role of the creative professional, your language and your confidence will naturally follow. And that brings us directly to the single word that betrays this new identity, and the blueprint for what to say instead. So let's bring it all together. The blueprint isn't about a magic script, it's about a fundamental identity shift. It's about deleting that one hesitant word that signals you're an amateur and stepping fully into your role as a creative professional. Remember, value exchange is a two-way street built on mutual respect. Your business practices, including negotiation, aren't a betrayal of your art. They are the final professional edits that ensure its value is recognized. This is how you build a career that doesn't just survive, but truly thrives. I'd love to hear from you. What is one small change you're going to make this week to embody that creative professional identity? Let's build a conversation in the comments. And if you're committed to this journey, hit that subscribe button. Together, we'll keep building your blueprint, piece by piece.